Let's see. Paul says, how to get rid of limited beliefs. Woo! Oh man. Hey, you say you trying to get me going out here, Paul. Hey, don't do this, man. Don't do this, man. Hold on one second. Let me see. Paul, man, to get rid of limiting beliefs, bro, honestly, that's a really, really great question. And I can go into a whole lot of depth. But I think in general, one of the biggest things I was just watching this video talking about this topic. Maybe I can even pop it up on the camera, whatever. But basically, bro, like you have to put yourself in a position where you're anticipating what it is that you're going to be doing versus like feeling anxiety that you may not get the outcome that you want. You want to be feeling that anticipation because you truly believe that you're actually going to get to where you're trying to get, right? But you got to feel like doing that. Right. So, but like that all comes from within. Like you actually have to motivate yourself. You got to be hungry for this stuff. What I say is be obsessed. That's the best advice that I have for you in terms of getting rid of those limiting beliefs. There's also a ton of books that you can read. I know for me personally, books made a big difference, man. Like, well, y'all can't see it or whatever, but I've got a ton of books over here in my bookcase, and I've read so many books, and that's why I've gotten the best game from books like Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, the 48 Laws of Power, just to name a few. I got so many other ones or whatever. One of the big ones actually is like, don't sweat the small stuff. The master key to riches, things like that. Like you want to be filling up your mind with positive energy, positive vibes and thoughts, and then get out there and take action though. You can't just sit back and just think about this stuff, right? Your your confidence is going to come from having competence in the things that you're trying to dive into, right? So it's basically getting those reps in, bro. The more and more and more you actually get out there and do it, you're going to put yourself in position to win. These people need your help. You just got to get out there and get them on the phone. All right? So that's my best advice for you, my brother. I hope that helps. So let's see. High Def Media says, let's see. I'm brand new, drove for dollars yesterday. What's my next move? Run numbers on all properties to see what's a deal or not, or just start calling. So say I brand new, drove for dollars yesterday. Basically, look, if you drove for dollars yesterday, bro, you probably should have already caught that list, to be honest with you. What you want to do is go ahead and get those leads skip traced. Depending on what system you're using, or if you don't have a system or something like that, you can check out like True People Search, Fast People Search, and things like that. I personally use a company called Versium Reach. Y'all see me talking about it on YouTube all the time. But basically, yeah, your next move would be to get those leads skip traced and start reaching out to those people immediately. Start reaching out to them, get them on a phone call, ask them if they want to sell. Let's see. So Paul says, do you think the market you're in determines your success? Absolutely not. And the main reason being is because, you're going to be basically, you could literally wholesale anywhere in America. You don't have to just market in your backyard. But more often than not, if you can find connections, if you can establish relationships with buyers and, title companies, agents, other sellers, stuff like that in your market, you're going to put yourself in position to win. You want to actually be, in your backyard as much as possible because you're going to understand the area, how people talk. You can build more rapport with the people. Oh yeah, I stay a couple blocks away from you. I'm going to come walk over real quick. Things like that or whatever. It kind of hits a little bit harder when you're in your backyard. I usually tell people to start in your backyard, but it's not required. Like you don't have to actually start in your backyard. You can wholesale from anywhere in America just doing virtual deals. Keith Dunn says the only way to beat fear is to take a massive action. Absolutely. You're 100% right, man. You got to get out here. You got to get busy. None of this stuff is just going to be given over to you. You got to really, really work hard for it. I know a lot of y'all see these videos on YouTube and you're like, damn, I see people out here making 10,000, 20,000, 30, 40, $50,000 checks or 50, $60,000 months and things like that. Or whatever. You're like, oh my God, like, oh, like, I want to get up into this thing or whatever. And like we all see these people that have been putting in the work for quite some time, and we think that it's just going to happen overnight, and we may feel that anxiety because we're like, damn, am I going to be able to do this? We feel this fear. What you really want to feel is anticipation. Like I was saying earlier, you've got to be hungry for it. You got to believe that it's actually going to happen for you. Otherwise, on the other end of that is that anxiety where like you're spending current energy focused on a goal that's not desirable to you, where you're thinking that you're not going to get it. So it's very, very important to control those thoughts, guys. You got to get out there, take massive action. The people that get the most success are the people that are willing to eat the most dirt. I promise you that. The people are that's willing to eat the most dirt tend to get the best results. You just got to be willing to hear no a ton of times, and you will get to where you're trying to go, for real. What do you think about selling your deals to hedge funds? How do you suggest finding them? Great question, Dan. I'm glad you asked that question. So the question is, what do you think about selling your deals to hedge funds? If you can find hedge funds that's still in the game right now, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you be trying to sell your deals to hedge funds. And when you ask, how do you suggest finding them? I actually had a whole video with my guy Terrell Hawkins. Shout out to Terrell, and he actually broke down exactly how he goes about finding hedge funds, and he's got a ton of them now. And you can actually reach out to him personally. He may have some resources for you. But I know that one of the sites was called Zoom.info. I'll actually type it into the chat. Zoom.info. And then there was another one. I can't remember what it was called though. That's kind of messed up. But I know another source that he said was LinkedIn Sales Navigator. That's another way, and I think that that's pretty affordable. Then Zoom.info. I think it was another place though, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's a ton of different places that you can find hedge funds, and you'll even see people on like, excuse me, I don't know how legit it is or whatever, but I've definitely seen people on like Facebook and stuff like that selling lists of hedge funds as well. In fact, I think Terrell may even sell his list of hedge funds, and I think my guy Najee has hedge funds for sale as well. So it's definitely some resources out there. People do have like big lists already compiled of them, or you can go out there and establish those relationships yourself with those hedge funds. But I highly, highly, highly recommend that you consider reaching out to what do they call it? To hedge funds. Man, they some of the best ones right now. I've seen a lot of hedge funds out here literally buying properties at like 90, 95%, 100%, 105% ARV is absolutely insane. It doesn't even make sense. Don't get me wrong. With the economic uncertainty that we've got going on right now, though, at the same time, some of them have kind of pulled out for right now. So I would say maybe 40 to 50% of them have backed off for the moment, but there's still other hedge funds that are still in it. But just kind of be aware of that their requirements may have gotten more stringent, or some of them may have just fallen back right now. That's been happening a lot. Cincinnati Zone says, ballpark figure, how many cold calls and texting per day do you think you have to do to average at least 2 deals per month? Great question. Great question, Cincinnati Zone. So the question is, how many deals? I mean, how many calls and or texts do you have to do to actually average 2 deals per month? Honestly, usually what I'm recommending is getting out if you're going to be doing calling or texting. My recommendation, the ultra sweet spot tends to be somewhere between 15,000 to 30,000 leads per month that you're actually getting through in terms of how many people you're contacting. So let's say, for instance, if you have PropStream, you'll probably have to upgrade your PropStream account so you can actually have enough leads, right? But if you're somewhere within that sweet spot, you're usually going to be doing more than that, honestly. I know people right now that are not doing that much volume at all that are ultra crushing it, making tens of thousands of dollars a month, closing like several deals. So, at the same time, it's kind of gonna vary, right? Like you got to know your market, you got to be able to actually have those conversations. So that's what's really going to make a big difference on how many deals you actually close. A lot of that is going to be on you, right? But average volume, I would say bare minimum numbers that I would recommend that you're hitting in a monthly basis would be at least 8,000 people in a month, aka 400 first text going out every day, 400 first initial phone calls going out every single day. 5 days a week. If you decide to add Saturdays in, that'll end up being 9,600. If you added in Sundays, then what's another 1,600 on like 11,200, something like that, 11,200. That would say that those would be like the bare minimum numbers. 8 to 11,000 on the lower end, 15 to 30 if you're really trying to boss up and scale up your business. Some people do more than that and don't do as much volume or do as much revenue as other people I know that's probably not even getting through 10,000 leads. So it's really going to depend on that person as well. Kind of keep that in mind. Oh my God, too funny. Amir says driving for dollars with those gas prices. Oh, hey man, but I heard that they've been going down though. I'm not gonna lie. I think that they've been going down pretty recently. All right, let's see what Paul has to say. How much a budget for 2 deals a month? About 2K? Honestly, that's it's gonna super vary, man. You can literally come out here with a damn near $0 budget and do 2 deals a month pretty easily, to be honest with you. I mean, let me just give you a quick little strategy. Free game, free sauce in this session, all right? So one thing that you can easily do, right? Start establishing some relationships with some buyers off the rip, right? and ask them like, hey, I'm trying to find out what your buying criteria is, so on and so forth. You can go to places like affordablehousing.com, for instance. I'm dropping super gems right now or whatever, right? You can go over there. You can find you some landlords that own properties, be like, hey John, I saw you got a property on affordablehousing.com. I was just reaching out to see if you'd be interested in purchasing any more properties. Boom, establish those buyers. And then you can head over to places like Facebook groups, Craigslist, and a Facebook marketplace, and easily find other wholesalers that already have deals under contract, some of which will actually match your buyer's criteria. You bring the seller, well, you bring the buyer, they bring the seller. Boom, y'all bring it together, y'all get paid out here. Simple as that. That's absolutely free. You don't have to spend $1 to do that. And you can do that today, literally. It's a ton of deals, whatever market you're in. I can literally on this live, I can go into anybody's market and find 5, 10 deals that will match one of y'all buyers' criteria. Y'all could be getting paid out here, but y'all gotta squad up, as Pace Morby and them be saying or whatever. Squadding up is actually extremely important for real. So great questions though, guys. Great questions. So, but yeah, so like you could literally do it for free. You don't have to think about it like how much money can I throw at this thing to actually make something happen. You want to be more so thinking about it like, what's the best path for me? Like what should I be personally doing? On average, I'm usually recommending that people have a budget from somewhere between $700 to $1,200 a month. And that's typically going to cover your virtual assistant as well. Right. So when you put yourself in that type of position, you're going to be decent. I mean, in all reality. So you'll have your VA. Most VAs typically cost $5 to $7 an hour. Maybe have them work part time. Maybe grab yourself like an REI reply, a prop stream, a DocuSign, things like that. I'm not going to break this down into too much detail or whatever, but it's a lot of different ways that you can get out there um, and actually build this out. All of that stuff that I just said is probably, $300, $400 a month, something like. Well, if you include the VA, maybe 500, 600, something like that a month. So it's not too bad. You don't have to think like how much money can I actually throw at this. Let's see. MJ MJJ Smooth Criminal says best way. I'm dyslexic tonight, y'all. My bad. Best way to find the cash buyers that fix and flip. Great question. Honestly, I think there's a lot of different ways. One thing that I would recommend is going out to local REI meetings and personally meet flippers in the area. I think that may actually be the best because you get to meet them in person, shake their hand, like, "What's going on, John? My name is MJ. I'm trying to talk to you, man. What's your buying criteria, man? What you out here doing? You flipping? You da 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 da." And get an arsenal of different buyers. You want people that buy and hold, and you want your fix and flippers. You want the entire spectrum or whatever, right? But in terms of just the fix and flip people, I gave y'all a little bit of sauce earlier. I'm not gonna say it again. Y'all gonna have to go back and listen to it if y'all didn't hear that one location that I gave y'all for some solid cash buyers. Y'all have to go back into the video or whatever and be able to get that content or whatever. But yeah, it's a ton of different ways though, bro. I would say REI meetings. If I had to give you one, because you said the best, I would say REI meetings. Boom, there you go. All right, let me see. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Seven figures says, starting out, shouldn't I cold call myself till I get a few deals before I hire a VA to cold call so I can get better closing deals? You thinking out there? I got to make my own sound effects since y'all can't hear my sound, but I got to make my own sound effects, man. It's terrible. Hey, but yes, absolutely. This is one of the most important things that I tell people all the time. Y'all know I coach people. I work with people all the time. They like, look, I'm ready to start hiring VAs day one. They be ready to hire VAs day one. I'm like, look, you got to run your business yourself first, because what type of leader are we if we can't even help ourselves, basically? Like, the best bosses that I've ever had, let me rephrase that, the best bosses I've ever had in my life were the ones that were willing and able to get into the trenches with me, not the ones that just sat back and was like, do this, do that, but they didn't even know what I was going through. So absolutely, you want to understand your business through and through, because employees and even partners are so fickle. People will up and leave, and then you got to pick up the pieces. This is your business. If you're really trying to win out here, you need to know how to do every aspect: the acquisition, the disposition, the talking to the buyers, the sellers, the title companies, agents, attorneys, whatever it may be. You have to be proficient in it, because if you aren't, other people are going to drop the ball all the time. You've got to be right there, able to pick up the pieces and keep going. Corey Miller. Corey Miller says, when wholesaling virtually, how do you find a property specialist to take pictures of a property? Great question, my brother. I've got the computer open right here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this live, my brother, just for you. All right. So this is for Corey Miller. Corey Miller, what you want to do? You're going to want to head over to Velocity REOs. Go ahead and just type that into Google. Bang. It's going to take you to a site called bpophotoflow.com. This is how you find those virtual property specialists. Okay. Boom. You'll go ahead and click on real estate. It's going to give you the option. Uh oh. Can y'all hear that? What the hell? Hush. Mute. Why are you making this noise? Can y'all hear that? Curious if y'all can hear that. Let me know. That's weird as hell. Anyway, but boom, you can just scroll down, go ahead and order your real estate evaluation photography, or you can get more complex, right? You get the videography. You could do the investment evaluation, construction loan inspections, disaster, da 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 da. All of this good stuff. You'll probably be using one of the first two options, either pics or pics and video. Bang, there you go. That's how you get people to go out there and get pictures for you when you're virtually wholesaling or even when you're locally wholesaling. You don't necessarily have to go out to these properties yourself. You could actually have somebody else go check out the property for you using BPO photo flow, even if it's local. Maybe you've got some other stuff going on that day. You've got work, something came up. It's your child's birthday. Head over to bpophotoflow.com and you'll be able to have somebody else go out there and take those pictures for you. Bang, bang, free sauce.